Hello, 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 YouTube. How are you guys doing today? This good old Monday. Money Making Monday, Magic Mike Monday, Make It Happen Monday, whatever kind of Monday you want it to be. Thank you so much for stopping by Real Talk Therapy 101 with your girl, Ebony. And if you're new to the channel, want to thank you for coming by and want to tell you a little bit about myself as I do on Mondays. I am a certified alcohol and drug counselor in the state of North Carolina. I am also a certified peer support specialist in the state of North Carolina, and I am currently working on becoming a licensed clinical social worker so that soon and very soon I can actually open up my own behavioral and mental health substance addiction counseling service right here in the state of North Carolina. But until then, your girl currently contracts and works as a supervisor, trainer, certified alcohol and drug counselor, facilitator for substance groups. I am able to do DWI and DUI assessment. So if y'all got into any of that over the weekend, if you hung out, did some drinking and driving, got a DUI, or if you've had one, don't know which way to go, what to do about it, get at me so I can help you with that. In addition to that, I am just a lover of people, helping people find their way, figure out how to get from one place to the other when dealing with uncharted waters is what I like to call it. When we get to situations that we've never been to before in life and we don't know how to navigate or get out of that spot. And a lot of us will shy away from mental health treatment because of the stigma of mental health, not knowing that in the end, sometimes a simple conversation, which is what I like to call therapy and treatment. It's a conversation. What's going on with me, and can you help me figure it out and figure out how to move from one place to the next? Usually on the channel, I feature a coach or custom-made t-shirt of the day, a coach bag of the day, and kicks of the day. But I've been sharing with you guys along the leg that we're doing some things in the house. We're doing some home makeover stuff. So I'm in a different position. Space is limited. So, and I was unable to get to my bag that I wanted to carry because some stuff is changed around and we got stuff in different places. So until I can get back on track with that, I'll only be able to feature shirts of the day that may or may not be custom made. The shirt I have on today that we're going to talk about in just a minute actually came from Five Below last year, I think it was. But at any rate, it's in tune to what we have going on today. I can show you the kicks for today. I don't have the ability to kind of do what I normally do in this space, so we're wearing Easter pinks today to go along with our shirt that says your emotions are valid. And you have these different emoji faces. So your emotions are valid. And here on the channel, we talk about those things because sometimes we get so caught up in trying to make sure that everybody else is okay. We forget about self. And self needs to be taken care of so that we can make sure that everybody else is okay. Sometimes we have a theme that we kind of talk about that'll last all week. We've had a theme that lasted for about 5 weeks. Sometimes it's daily conversations. But either way, we're here to just simply talk about what everybody's going through, but nobody wants to talk about it. And we use cartoons, real life, songs, movies, anything that's relatable to the topic that deals with our mental and how we're feeling and how we don't know how to articulate, little fancy word for, just talk about or share what we're feeling inside. Sometimes you feel an emotion and you aren't quite sure what it is you're feeling. And that's when you need to go and talk to someone. So if you need that help and you need something that's outside of my current scope of practice, still holler at your girl because I know some really dope people who provide therapy. They're licensed professional counselors as well as licensed clinical social workers in the area and outside the area to get you to the right place and to get you to have conversations with the right people. So with all of that good stuff being said, the other caveat I want to put out there is that sometimes I do use examples that are spiritual based. In behavioral health, we work to encourage individuals who come to have these conversations and look for help. We encourage them to rely on the higher power if you have one. That's one of the questions that's asked on a diagnostic assessment or a clinical comprehensive assessment when you go to have an evaluation for behavioral mental health treatment. You're asked about your spirituality. And because of the channel, I come from a place of Christianity because that's my higher power and that's my belief. However, if you have another belief or another God or something else that you rely on to help you, I encourage you strongly to lean on that. But don't shy away from the channel if I use a biblical story to talk about the conversation. I'm using it to get the point across to where it can become clear and plain, hopefully, with what you may be dealing with. And so today, I wanted to give that caveat because you'll hear those different things. If you go back and look at some of the other videos, you'll see and hear some of those things. And today's intervention, strategy, coping skill, whatever you want to call it, technique, something to help you move forward, will be coming from the Holy Bible. And so with that, I usually give this spiel of who I am, what the channel is created for. I ask you to go back to the bio. Please check me out from beginning to now. And that way, the rest of the week, you ain't got to hear all that. We just dive in and go with it. So with that being said, it's the holidays. We just, came off of Thanksgiving, and in about 3-4 weeks, people will be celebrating Christmas. Some people celebrate Kwanzaa. There's Advent services. Just different things that people celebrate during this time of the year. I don't knock, again, what anybody believes and what anybody, holds true to their heart and their rituals. I just know what my family and I celebrate. And I encourage you to enjoy yourself, no matter what it is that you're getting ready to, to embark upon, and try not to be disrespectful of anybody else's belief. As long as, the whole big thing is we want to be respected, but, nobody wants to give respect. You want to be accommodated, but nobody wants to be accommodating. We are adults, whether we're in the early stage of adulthood, the middle stage of adulthood like myself, or that golden era, late adulthood, our elders, those that are, 65 and older, moving through and dealing with some of the same things. And so, I also refer to a lot of different cliches. You'll hear me break some apart. You'll hear me talk about some that I just don't agree with, that don't make sense to me. And then we'll talk about some that do. There'll be some that I just won't change, or, I'll tell you what I think about when I use it or reference it. And so what comes to mind about our emotions being valid is that good old cliche where you hear them say people would throw rocks and then hide their hands, and that is a true statement. It really is true. But some people throw rocks and don't hide their hands only because they don't know or they don't think that their mess is uncovered. So I'm going to break that down a little bit more. There are some people out here that will talk about stuff that people are doing, but will never acknowledge the fact that they're doing the same thing and or worse. So you cannot be around here throwing rocks, then you don't even hide your hands, all because you haven't been uncovered. And so what that reminds me of is a story in the Bible. And for those of you who want to follow it and reference it and know that I'm not making this up to go along and have something to say, in John chapter 8, 1-11, it talks about Mary Magdalene, the Mary that's the sister of Martha. And I'll talk about them, on another topic one day too. But Mary, before she did the oil, and they were Lazarus sisters, and before she did the oil and poured it on Jesus' head and all this stuff, getting him prepared for crucifixion. Mary was somewhat of a call girl or escort or prostitute or whatever you want to call her based on the Bible days, and she would go and have sex with men for money. And these people who knew that Jesus was coming through at this particular time decided they were going to set her up. So they were going to get this room and put Mary in this room with this married man. And then they knew Jesus was going to be coming through around this certain time. And, you know, these haters, these fans or whatever you want to call them, were just like, you know, yo, Jesus, this girl Mary, we caught her in the very act. She's in the room right now with a man, you know, committing the act of adultery. And you said, thou shalt not commit adultery. So what you going to do about it? And in the midst of this, these same men that had these rocks, because back then the punishment for adultery was you would be stoned to death. And so when they were pleading their case and saying all this stuff about her, some of these same people who were picking up rocks had already slept with Mary. Yeah. They already been with her. They know what she was about. They knew where to find her. They knew how to set her up. So you know all this stuff about this woman. To have her caught in the act, and you got a rock in your hand, and you ready to kill her for something that you've possibly already done with her. So at the same token, here it is with, you know, you getting these stones together to throw at this girl or throw at this lady for something that you've done similar and or worse. So, you know, the verses that I just gave you say that Jesus is listening to these people, and Mary comes out. She's all embarrassed, and she's expecting to be put on forefront and to be stoned to death because, man, here's Jesus. He's the one who says that this is what has to happen to you. This is what our beliefs are. Hey, I got caught. You know what I'm saying? I had a good run. I was out here doing what I did, but now I got caught. She didn't even know she had been set up. So she's ready to face the music and deal with whatever it is, because Mary, unlike those people that's picking up these stones, took ownership of what she did wrong. She didn't try to call out the person that she was in the room with. She didn't point fingers at the people that had the rocks. She didn't do none of that. She stood tall and said, give me what's coming to me. I got caught out there. Give me what's coming to me. So, you know, Jesus is listening to all this going on around him, and the story says he's writing in the dirt. Now, I don't know what he's writing in the dirt. You have different preachers that say he's writing out the sins of all the people that are standing around with these rocks. You have people that say, you know, he's carving whatever. I don't know what he was writing. But what I do know is that eventually, whatever he was writing, everybody that was standing around ready to stone this lady eventually started dropping those rocks. And you started to hear thuds. And then it was like, you know, okay, what's happening here? You know, and eventually Jesus stood up and just said, yo, anybody out here who has never, you know, if you ain't got no sin, no mess with you, you know, and it's whichever one of you has committed no sin may throw the first stone at her. Now, the irony of this story is that Jesus was the only one in the mix who had the autonomy or the authority or the forthright to even throw or to have a stone on him. And he didn't have a stone because he hadn't committed sin according to the Bible. But everybody else, you start hearing the thud of these stones hitting the ground because nobody else around her without sin could throw a stone. And so today's lesson, when your emotions start getting all twisted up because people out here saying junk about you, straighten yourself up, own what you went through, but know that you're going somewhere different. And those people that's talking about you, oh man, when their stuff start being uncovered, because there's another one in here that says if you're going to dig one hole, you might as well dig two. So when you start trying to uncover people's stuff or talk about what you think you know, or put people to shame and have them dealing with all these different emotions and not being able to move forward, you need to drop the stones and hush your mouth. Because when it's your turn to be sitting on the chopping block, do you want the Marys around you to be able to pick up stones? Because Mary had some mess with her. But so did these people who wanted to throw stones at her. And so do you, and so do I. But you have to take the time to clean up your own mess. And if you need some help, you need to look at your support system. Remember, we talked about developing those people that are in your corner with you, good, bad, or indifferent. Those people that love you, even though you fall short of the goal sometimes. Those people who care about you, even though you make mistakes sometimes. Those people who have your back, even if you hurt them, or even if they hurt you. They still riding with you, and they still got you and holding you down. It's not hard to tell who's on your team. Sometimes y'all just get messed up out there. And you think the next player coming along is something better, or the grass is greener. The grass is what you want it to be. If you want it to be green on your side, take care of your own freaking grass. Don't go over there messing in somebody else's grass. You might not be able to find your way home. And if home is no longer where you want to be, if those, and home could be a job, a literal home, it could be a relationship, it could be a friendship. If that's something that's no longer feeding you and helping you grow, move. People are stuck because they want to be stuck. You ain't got to be stuck. If it's not serving you, if it's not helping you grow, if it's not supporting you, if it's not holding you down in the way that you need to grow, be supported, and be held down. Because remember, you got to go back and do that self-work to even know what you want. You have to do this work. So mentally, you got to pick yourself up, knock the dust off, and try again, whatever it may be, if that's what you really want to do. But you also have to be honest with yourself and figure out if that's not what you want to do, and quit hurting people in the process of not dealing with your own mess. These people wanted to stone this lady, and they caught her or set her up in the act of adultery, but didn't talk about them stealing, killing, lying, what's some other ones, going out here coveting. You know what I'm saying? They ain't want to talk about their mess. And that's what happens when you get caught up in trying to throw some rocks and either showing your hands or hiding your hands. Those of you that throw them and show your hands, y'all some bold individuals out here on these streets. But I'm telling you, the chopping block, it's not a good place when your neck is on the board. Leave people alone. And those of you that are on the receiving end of this, know that your emotions are valid and find healthy ways to deal with it and move past whatever it is somebody's trying to put you out there in them streets for. Stop giving people a reason to talk about you. Stop giving people a reason to mess up what you got going on. You know who you can trust and who you cannot trust by now. Quit telling everybody your business. Everybody is not worthy to know what's going on with you. Now, Mary, if she was gangster and these folks coming around and they got this new person, look, yo, you normally come, but you want to bring a friend. Be leery of people coming around you. Oh, I was just with you last night, so how you bringing me somebody new? Y'all better start asking questions and being aware of your surroundings. Self-awareness. If Mary was more aware of herself, she wouldn't have got caught out there like that, because she would have asked her a couple of more questions before she took that gig. Do your homework. It's worth it. So just know, when you're faced with adversity, when you're faced with situations and things that you can't deal, when you're in the middle of town square and everybody around you has picked up a stone to throw, remind them that they're human too. And they have some stuff that they dealing with too. And if they go work on their own stuff, they ain't got time to be around here plotting and scheming and trying to set people up to be exposed, and you out here doing a lot worse. The best thing to do is to just stay focused on you. So with that being said, I want you guys to start processing that. Look at what's going on around you. Stop following up with people. Have your own mind, your own brain. Do your own thing according to how you feel, because your emotions are valid. Don't let people make you feel like you can't feel the way that you feel. Emotions are valid. And so I would like to ask again, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And, holler at your girl the rest of this week. And I do want to acknowledge this. I meant to put their names down. I forgot. But I shared a couple of shorts over the Thanksgiving holiday, and I had 2 people to try to come for me in the comments. Hey, y'all, I appreciate it, because not only did you help take me up another notch with YouTube, I responded in kind. Because words only hurt if we allow them to hurt. Y'all don't even know me from a can of paint, but you must have had an issue with me having a good time with mine. Because you took the time to comment. You took the time to look, and somebody else took the time to comment. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Take me to the top, baby. That's where we're trying to go. So y'all have a good one. Join me. You don't want to miss the rest of this week. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.